budget deal. Negotiators are apparently back at the table. They've been going all night. Now the big guys are back. According to reports, a Democratic aide says this, that both sides have agreed on the size of the spending cuts, but not so fast. A GOP aide says this, I refute that, saying the two sides differ on how much to cut from current spending levels. So which one is true? Joining us now, New York Congressman Charlie Rangel will be with us. In fact, is side by side with Congressman out of Texas, Jeb Hensarling. Welcome to both of you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. First off, I'll start with you, Congressman Hensarling. You saw both reports. What do you think is true?
Well, I communicated with the Speaker's office right before coming on air on your show. And as of the moment, unfortunately, no, there is no agreement. Again, we are trying to put America on a fiscally sustainable path in order to help create jobs, promote job growth, and take us off the road to bankruptcy, and so far the Democrats have not agreed.
So they haven't agreed on a number. You talk to the Speaker's office and you say the number is not agreed upon, correct, Congressman?
As we are speaking right this moment, that is correct information. However, I still have high hopes. Negotiations are going on. Certainly, things are closer than they were 24 hours ago. But as we speak, as of now, there has not been a negotiated agreement.
What's a bigger hurdle, Congressman Rangel? The number of between 33 and 39 billion, or the riders that are out there also on the bill?
I think you just answered that question. When you are dealing with a $14 trillion budget problem, and now you have a $7 billion difference of opinion, you can split that and move on. The riders are significant policy issues. One, the question of whether or not, with their own money, the people in D.C. could have an abortion if they want it.
Right.
Two, the Environmental Protection Committee. Are we going to go back and all of that? Three, the president's health plan. I mean, we're really basically, without emotion in politics, talking about life and death. And these are issues that we have to deal with. Investment in people that we can't afford to stop and go. It doesn't work that way. Cutting doesn't mean that you're saving money.
Congressman Hensarling, of those riders, we did hear one of the reports that said that the president has agreed, the majority leader's staff has agreed, and the majority leader, we assume as well, has agreed to the rider of the EPA not being funded to check greenhouse gases. That's being something that both have agreed on and have decided not to bring up the other ones. What have you heard?
Well, I haven't heard that. I didn't quite understand what Charlie meant when he said cutting doesn't lead to savings. This is still substantially a fight over the direction of the country, whether or not we're going to be on the path to prosperity. At some point, you got to quit spending money you don't have. At some point, you got to quit borrowing 42 cents on the dollar, much of it from the Chinese, and send the bill to your children and grandchildren. I mean, this started off with us 7 weeks ago, putting forth a bill that would fund the government for the rest of the year because the Democrats didn't do it when they were in charge. They've had plenty of time to do it, and what they've said to us is, well, it's a radical bill because you only fund government at 98% of last year's level. And so we come here on the precipice of a showdown. So we put forth a bill yesterday to at least ensure that the troops are funded, and there is nothing in that bill that the White House hasn't already called for, agreed to, or previously signed into law, and yet they issue a veto threat.
And the president says he's going to veto it if he gets in. The Senate won't even take it up. But Congressman Rangel, if there is something signed today, and the president indicated that he was hopeful to get it by the time sometime this morning, is a gap unavoidable between funding and non-funding? By the time you write it up, get it passed, put it into law, get this through, is there still going to be somewhat of a shutdown?
I don't think so. We can really waive the procedural rules to do it, but what I meant when I said that cuts don't mean savings, if you close our clinics, our hospitals, our health care, our environmental conditions, if you do all of those things, even for a week or 10 days or a month, it costs a lot more money to put it back in. If 800,000 people don't get their checks, you can't have them to pay their bills. You can't have the vendors that are dependent on paying their rent, paying their mortgages. And so even a short stop in government is a terrible thing, and it's a very costly project to get back on track. But yes, I think that once we reach agreement, not on the money, that's easy to agree to, but on policies, that we can't just do this with one vote. If they want to change the policy, they got a tremendous majority, do it in another bill, but don't close down the government because certain people believe that compromise is evil.
But Charlie, it was the Republicans who put a bill out there to fund the government. The Democrats have yet to put one bill out there to fund the government.
It's not the fund, it's to change the policy. That's our problem.
I see the smiles, and somewhat I mean that maybe we're hopeful to avoid a shutdown, where there are no winners. Congressman Rangel, Congressman Hensarling, hopefully you have good news before noon today. Thanks so much for joining us and bringing us inside the numbers.
Thank you.
Thank you.